happy day. Oh, happy day. Are you a happy person today? Are you excited about a new day? Are you just grateful that you're here and that you're alive and that you can smile and do something new, and see all your loved ones around you? Are you happy? I am happy, and I want to share the same happiness with all of you watching me. Thank you so much for coming back, for tuning into my channel. I know it's been a whole long time since we last had a discussion or since we last did anything on this channel, and that was because so many things happened to me. Uh Ugh, it's just so much, okay? And I just feel like I have the obligation of sharing it with you guys because you are like my family. You've become part of my family because we share a lot of stuff together. So let's start with the first thing that happened to me and that made me take a break for some time. I met this really nice young man who swept my feet off the ground, and um I decided to accept his name. So yeah, I got married. That's one of the things that took me away. And you all know what happens when you get married, right? The next thing, let me guess. Can you guess what happens after you get married? I started popping them babies. Okay? Yeah. And so after I met and married my husband, then I started the popping baby business. Because that's the next thing that everybody expects, right? I mean, I come from Africa, and in Africa, when you get married and after 9 months, nothing's happening, your family starts asking questions. And believe me, there are families that are paranoid like that. They will take you to go for further cleansing or prayers or something just to see if you're okay, if you're normal, if something is fine, even if it's your decision to stay without having a baby just yet. African families, they will still be like, what is wrong with our daughter? Maybe we need to take her for some more prayers. We love to pray. Africans love to pray. And it's an amazing thing, especially in a time like this, which is so uncertain. We can only put our lives and our trust in God's hands, okay? So that's a beautiful thing. So, okay, let's go back to what I was talking about. But before that, if you are new to my channel, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for spending this time with me. And I would like for you to please give me a thumbs up if you like the video, if you just like my face, okay? Maybe I'm funny or maybe not. But just because you want to support me and you want me to continue doing what I'm doing, you want to give me a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so that way whenever I upload a video, you'll be the first to know. All right, so let's get back into business. So I was just trying to tell you guys what's been happening to me and where I've been all this while, because I feel like I owe you guys this explanation. I need to tell you what's been happening and why I've been so quiet. So the first thing that happened was that I met and married this cute guy here. And then after that, we started their family, baby popping business. And so out of that, I had a gorgeous baby girl. She's right here. 2019 started off really, really, really good. And everything was seeming so good. I got a new job and everything was just looking so right until we started getting to the end of the year and everything started turning dark for me. My sky started getting dark. And what do I mean by my sky started getting dark? I went through a series of events that if I was not a focused, God-fearing person, I could have lost my mind. But I thank God that I had the family support that I needed. I had the friends around me that I could count on who would call and check up on me. I had a church family that always prayed with me and reminded me that God is always there and that no matter what has happened, that I can still always count on Him. And so like I was saying, sometimes around the third quarter of the year, I got a terrible, terrible call from Cameroon. That's where I'm originally from. One of my former colleagues, she called me in the morning. I remember it was a Saturday morning. That Saturday morning, September 28th, I can never forget that day. I got this call from a close friend of ours, from one of my colleagues, and she was like, "Have you heard?" I was like, "What have I heard? What was I supposed to hear? What's going on?" And she said, um, Patricia was found lifeless in her bathroom this morning. And I don't know if you've ever been told something shocking like Patricia. I'm using her name here just because it's my own way of paying homage to her. I don't know how many times I can say that I miss her and her presence in my life and her impact in my life. But I lost one of my best friends. She was more than a sister to me. And so that morning, it was September 28th. I would never forget that day, 2019. I remember that the previous day, I was just feeling funny. I don't know if you've ever had those kind of feelings, like you just feel like you're not really sitting in your plate, like something's not okay, you're just drowsy, you just feel sad for nothing. I feel like I started feeling like her death even long before I knew that she had died or I heard that she had died. So I was just like feeling really like, oh, somehow out of my plate. And then I went to bed, like I tried to sleep, I would not be able to sleep. And then the very first thing that I got in the morning was this call from a friend of ours. And she's like, "Have you heard?" And I was like, "What do you mean by have I heard? Like, what am I supposed to hear?" And then she told me the news of my very good friend's passing. And she was found lifeless in her bathroom that morning. And you know the strange thing about what all that was is the fact that she was not sick. She had no problem. She was okay. She was fine. She talked to her family that morning, and there was no sign of her having any kind of problem whatsoever. She actually did the news because she was a journalist. So she actually did the midday news the day before. That's Friday, and then Saturday morning around I'm not sure what time, maybe 9 or 10ish in the morning, she was found lifeless in her bathroom. I'll tell you that that was one of the most shocking things that I have, the most shocking news that I ever got in my life. Like I was not expecting that, especially because I had talked to her just 2 days before that. I remember, just seeing on her status, on her WhatsApp status, how she was cooking this really delicious meal that I've not eaten in a while. And I was like, "Girl, you are making me sick right now. I feel like I can just appear where you are and eat some of that food." And she was like, "Oh, you know what? Don't worry. Whenever you come back, we're going to have lots of this to eat." And I just couldn't contend with that. So that was one of the things that happened to me last year that kind of like took me away from, spending time with you guys. Like it was a really, really difficult moment for me, but I tried as much as possible to be strong. I even remember mourning. I did mourn my friend for like a week. Like for one whole week in the office, I was dressed in black because in my community, when you lose somebody that you love so dearly, you can wear black or you can wear white. It just depends on who this person is. So for my friend, I wore black for 1 week. That was my own way of mourning her. And I would tell you that it never rains but pours. That was just the beginning of all of the sad moments that I was going to experience all through the rest of the end of the year of 2019. So 2 weeks later, okay, just 2 weeks later, someone who had been comforting me, who had been telling me, "Hey girl, just be strong, God has a reason for whatever is happening," passed on too. I mean, this was the most, like, I don't even know how to put one and one together. He was like a big brother and mentor. Whenever I started working so many years back, it was like that kind of person that held my hand, showed me my left from my right, and directed me, just kind of like played that role of a mentor, a professional mentor. And I remember when I was broken from losing my friend, he would send me messages and he would tell me, be strong, God knows best, just, be courageous, everything will be fine, your friend is in a better place and all that. And just for me to hear in the news that someone called me again and said, hey, did you know that this person also passed on? And I was like, wow, what is happening in this world? Like, what is going on? Like, why am I getting all these kind of things? Why do I hear all this kind of bad news? Like, at this time, it was not things that I was expecting to hear. And I'll tell you that I'm really, really strong right now. But when I used to talk about it just before now, I would just literally break down in tears. But I have cried so much that sometimes I just stay quiet because I don't know what to say. I've become speechless with everything that happened. But I've learned to accept life. I've learned to accept circumstances and situations that I cannot change. Okay, so moving on from that, wow, that was something I never thought that I'll be able to kind of like come out of where I was with thinking about all these close friends that meant so much to me. And then someday I'm just sitting in the office. I remember it was just right after my break, and I got a call from my mom's number, and I pick up the phone and I heard another voice, and I was like, my heart just fell in my belly. I had not heard anything at that time. Nothing was wrong with my mom. My mom was okay. She was a little bit sick from what they told me. So the person that actually picked the phone was my aunt. So when she picked up the phone, I have never called my mom and someone else pick up the phone. The only other person that will pick up the phone sometimes when I call my mom is my dad or maybe a sibling who's around my mom at that time. So this voice was a strange voice that I didn't know. And so I was like, hello. And I heard that voice. I'm like, hello, is this my mom's phone? I called my mom's name. And she said, yeah, that's your mom's phone. I'm like, who is speaking? And she said, oh, this is Auntie this. I'm like, oh, Auntie this. Is everything okay? Why are you the one calling me with mom's number? And she said, oh, Mama is fine. She's just a little bit sick. And my heart just fell in my belly. You know how like sometimes you're not even ready for another bad news again. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, please don't tell me. Please don't say this. Please, And she said, oh, Mama is right here. I said, can I talk to her? She said she cannot actually talk right now because she has like, she's coughing and she can't talk. And I'm like, please give her the phone. I'm going to wait. I said, I'll wait until she's ready to talk to me. And so she didn't wait. She just dropped the phone. And then I will tell you, my blood pressure just went all kinds of high at that time. Because I was like, why would she drop the phone? Is she trying to hide something from me? What is going on? So I called my mom right away. I tried to call my dad. He won't pick up. Okay, I called my dad. I called my siblings. Nobody would pick up the phone. My heart started racing. I don't know what was going on. But I just held on there. I kept trying my mom's number. And the next time, my auntie picked up the phone. And I said, please, give the phone to Mama. I want to talk to her. We called my mom Mama. Okay. So when she gave the phone to my mom, I could actually hear my mom talking. But she was so low. She was like, I'm like, Jesus, what is wrong with you, Mama? Why are you talking like that? She was like, she gave the phone back to my aunt and she couldn't really talk. And I was asking my aunt, I'm like, what is going on with my mom? And she said, oh, she says that she's having breathing difficulties and that her chest is paining. She feels like there's a huge log laying on her chest. She can't really breathe all right. And I will tell you that this is way before coronavirus started, okay? Because if it was in this time of coronavirus, they would have said that my mom had coronavirus. And I'll tell you, my mom is far away in Africa, in Cameroon, in a village somewhere in Bamenda, okay? So she's like completely away from something like that. There's no way that something like that would have gotten, it wasn't even there at that time, okay? Because before we started hearing about coronavirus, it was not until maybe January that we started really hearing about that in the United States. So what my mom had was some acute pneumonia, and it also has the same kind of symptoms, because from what we hear, coronavirus attacks you as an acute um, form of pneumonia, and it just makes people have difficulty in breathing, and then it crystallizes your lungs, and then if you're not lucky, if you're not following your treatment or whatsoever it is, you might pass from it. So many people have passed away from coronavirus, and our hearts go out to all those people who are affected or infected with this deadly virus. Our hearts go out here. So fast forward everything, 4 days later, my mom was in the hospital. She was suffering, she was in pain and all that. That was Thanksgiving night. I will never forget that night. And I remember trying to reach my sister and calling them. No one was picking up the phone. I just wanted to know how my mom was doing, and nobody was saying anything to me. And I know that my brothers, we had traveled to Maryland to be with my family, my brothers out there. Wilson, Raymond, Emil, Denise, just so many of them, Peace, all of them were out there, and we were just having a family get together and everything. But my mind was not focused on all what's going on, because I wanted to know how my mom was doing. No one's talking to me. Okay, what I didn't know at that time was that my mom was wrestling for her life. She was battling for her life. She was going through so much difficulty. She couldn't breathe. She couldn't do this. She couldn't do that. She couldn't even sit upright. She was restless, from what my sisters told me. And so everything was finished. Like the dinner, the family dinner and my brothers was finished. It came to an end, and everybody went home. And I was just like, we cleaned up everything. And then as I just went to lay down, my phone started ringing. And once I just tried to lay down, my phone started ringing. And when my phone started ringing, who was calling? That was my sister. And so my sister called me. I picked up the phone because I was like, I just jumped up the bed. I picked up the phone because I was waiting for that call, like fidgeting. I had been trying to reach them all day. I couldn't get to anybody. So I jumped up and I picked up the phone, and I'm like, hey, Beast, how are you? What's going on? How is Mama? She was crying. My sister is such a courageous person. She's such a, she's an evangelist, and she is such a woman of faith. Like, she was crying. I could hear her crying heavily. I could hear people crying in the background. And I'm like, sis, what is going on? What is going on? She was like just crying. She's like, Mama, it's not looking good. Something is not going on right. I'm like, you guys cannot be sitting there with her. She's not feeling good, and you guys are crying already. It's like you guys are already defeated. You're showing everybody, you're even showing her that you're defeated, that you don't even believe she's gonna get better. And she was showing me the phone. She said they're trying to pray right now. They don't know if she's gonna make it, because the way she's looking right now, the way she's going right now, it's like she's not gonna make it. And I said, no, we are children of faith. We have to hold on to God. We have to pray hard. We have to put our knees on the ground. We have to intercede that whatever it is that's going to happen shouldn't happen. It was like the most difficult time for us. And I'll tell you, she put the phone down at an angle. I could see all of them. I could see my mom laying down there, like she was like literally almost gone. But she was not gone yet, because they have not declared that she was gone yet. So I had to join my sisters in the chain prayer through the phone, through the video, and we started praying and praying and praying. And then I could see my dad coming too. And so we didn't want to believe what was about to happen, or the news that was going to be told to us. I remember that. Oh, this is really hard for me to think about right now. I'm sorry, guys. So it's very hard to just to see someone that you love so much, someone that you've known all your life, just leave, like go. It's the most difficult thing. I'm trying so hard not to cry right now, because if I start crying now, it's just going to translate until my whole evening will be messed up and I won't be able to sleep at night. So anyways, so we were praying there, and I could see my dad hold my mom's head, and he was talking in our native dialect. Our native vernacular is like a language that the people of my community speak. So he was holding my mom's head, and he was saying, "Please don't leave us. Please don't leave me alone with these children. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to live by myself. I don't know how to start life all over. Please don't do this to me. Please don't do this to us." My dad was saying that. I could see my dad crying. My dad is such a strong person. Like, I've never seen my dad cry. He's very strict and he's always smiling, okay? But this time around, my dad was broken. We were there crying. I was screaming. I was saying, "Oh, mama, please get up." I was praying all kinds of prayer. But God decided that it was time for her to go. And I'll tell you that they had sent for the doctor to come in to check on what was going on. And so the doctor came and then they checked on the monitor and everything. It looked like she actually had left the building. So what happened is that he called my sister and he said, I was watching all this on video, okay? And I don't know if you would never imagine how hard it is to see something like that. That's something that I still have those images playing in my head every day, and every time I see those images I remember all what I was seeing, like those last days, the last minutes, the last seconds that my mom spent here with us. It was hard for all of us, you know. And so the doctor said, I think he went out and he talked to my dad, and then he came back inside. I could see him walk away with my dad. He came back, and then he started talking to my sister. He asked her, "Can I talk to you?" And he talked in French because my country is a French and English country, so we speak French and English. And so he said, "Je peux te parler un instant." Now he was saying to my sister, "Can I talk to you a moment?" And she said, yeah, she was crying heavily. And he said, "Please, take your courage. Prends ton courage, ma soeur. Prends ton courage. Je sais que c'est difficile. Like, sister, please, be courageous. Please, be strong. I know it's hard. I know the situation is difficult for you at this moment." He said, "Je te vois prier depuis des jours pour ta mère, jour et nuit." Like, I see you praying every single day for your mom, day and night. You guys pray in the morning, you pray in the midnight, you pray all the time. I know that you wanted your mom to be all right. I know that you believed that everything will be all right. Et je sais que tu as cru que tout va bien se passer, que maman va se relever. Mais Dieu a décidé autrement. As he said, "I know that you've been praying so hard, that I know that you prayed so hard that your mom should be able to get up from here, but God has decided otherwise." And he said, "Ma soeur," meaning my sister, your mom is not here anymore. And my sister said, "It's a lie." She looked at him and she said, "It's a lie. It's not possible. My mom is not gone." We were praying at that time. We were so desperate. We were praying for God's intervention for a Thanksgiving miracle. We didn't want to believe it. We didn't want to come to terms with what was going on, but it was the most difficult thing, I'll tell you. So he said, "Tu veux voir le trait avant de croire?" And so at this time, my sister, she turned off the video. So I was lost. I was like in shock with the news that I heard. I was screaming my head out and I didn't know what to do. I was lost at that time. But she told me what happened. She said that she felt like just throwing her phone away. She felt like breaking everything around her. She was like so enraged, like she couldn't control herself. And so the doctor told her to please calm down. And he said, she was still saying, "No, my mom is still here. She's not gone. She's not gone. She's not gone." And he said, "Do you want to see that line on the monitor before you believe?" Like that line, you know how when somebody is in a critical condition and you have monitors hooked onto them, you see all those lines go up and down showing how they're breathing and all that. My mom's was like flat. It had gone like flat. But we were still in denial. So my sister was still in denial. And so the doctor had to kind of like talk to her and tell her, "Hey, this thing is for real. Mom is not here anymore. She is gone. I need you to understand this, and I need you to understand that God had a reason for this to happen. That even if it's not something that you wanted at this time, it's the best because she was going through so much pain. You were here yesterday. She was screaming. She was restless. She was just crying like a baby and everything that you would prefer that she goes to rest, right? My sister said yes. She said that that was a time when she finally accepted that, okay, this is really true. And then they called me back on video and then they confirmed to me that, okay, this is what had happened. So I had to live with that reality. That's going to be a story for another day anyways. I know it's taken longer than what I expected to talk about, but I just kind of like wanted you guys to know about, how my end of year, went, and the reason why I was away, why we couldn't have this discussions all the time, and I was a little bit mute for a while on my YouTube channel. And I really thank you all so much for sticking around and for still believing in me, for all the support. Some of you send me private messages, some of you called me, some of you sent me emails that really comforted me and made me feel loved and cared for. It made me believe that I was not alone in this world. I wouldn't lie to you. Losing somebody that you love is the most difficult, devastating thing. And that's why on this channel sometimes we're going to be talking about dealing with grief, because that's something that I've had to deal with myself. My family is dealing with, a lot of people that I know out there are dealing with grief. And I'll tell you that especially now in this coronavirus period, a lot of families have been broken, shattered, because they've lost loved ones. The head of their families are gone, their best friends are gone, their wives, husbands, children are gone. It's crazy. um, it's gonna be something that we'll have to deal with. But when that happens, when you have to deal with grief, people deal with grief differently. So we'll have a series where we're gonna talk about dealing with grief. So well, that was how everything went on, and that's the reason why you guys didn't really see me around, because I needed to come back to myself. I needed to be in a good place psychologically to continue this with you guys. But I believe that together we can make magic, right? Together we can move forward. We can all look ahead, and we can all hold hands. Not in this period, definitely, because nobody's holding hands during coronavirus, right? We can't hold hands right now, because if we hold hands, we have to sanitize, okay, and wash our hands with soap and clean water, right? Okay, that's what we do in this period. But what I mean by holding hands is more like counting on each other, okay? In difficult times, you count on your friends, you count on your loved ones, you count on those people that mean a lot to you, that mean the world to you, and you even check up on people that you don't usually get along with, okay? Because life is just hanging but on a rope. You don't want to hear that because you're upset with this person that tomorrow they're not there anymore, right? It's gonna haunt you for the rest of your life. So you don't want that to happen. So I think I'm just gonna draw the curtains on all that. It was like from happy to really sad end of year, but then 2020 came with new energy, a new enthusiasm, new dreams, and all that. And we will be talking about every single thing. I know that the world is going through a very difficult crisis right now, the coronavirus epidemic, but we believe, we're holding hands together in prayer, looking up to heaven, believing in God that this whole nightmare will be gone soon, right? Okay, so why don't we give it a wrap right now, because I feel like it's been a long, sad, happy mixture of a lot of kind of vibes. But I do hope that you guys liked to hear my story. I don't know if it touched you. I don't know if it inspired someone out there. I don't know if it just made somebody rethink out there, that life is too short, and that we should learn to love each other, to support each other, to appreciate each other, and especially be grateful for the gift of life and the gift of things that we have around us. Okay, guys, I'm just gonna hope that you all are taking great care of yourselves. Before we go, please, 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 don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Support me, okay, so I can keep doing what I'm doing. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you will be the first person to be informed whenever I'm doing a new video. All right, guys, I'm gonna wish you a wonderful rest of your day and pray that you stay safe, stay home, okay? Keep washing your hands with water and soap, keep sanitizing, and just keep being happy and believing in a better day. I love you. God bless you all. Mwah.